Nobody fucking with me, yeah. I'm about to go be Stipe, yeah. Moving up to heavyweight, yeah. And I am destined to be great, yeah. And if you didn't know, they call me DC. And there's no one that you know that can beat me. Yeah, I fought John Jones, but was he clean? I don't think so. What's in that PP? Steroids, cocaine, probably weed. Testosterone, dick pills, and speed. And shrooms, and pills, and codeine. Goddamn, John turned into a dope fiend. And Stipe's about to turn into a folding chair. When I fold him up, I'ma win 2 belts and hold him up. On my champ shit, Conor knows what's up, little bitch. Bust down, I'm a unit, bust down, I'm a unit. They wanna see me bust down, beat her up, then take that bitch crown. Beat her up, then take that bitch down. It's not a game, not a game. Bust her, bust down, bust her, bust her, bust down. It's not a game, not a game. Bust down, I'm a unit, bust down, I'm a unit. They wanna see me bust down, beat her up, then take that bitch crown. Beat her up, then take that bitch down. It's not a game, not a game. Bust her, bust down, bust her, bust her, bust down. It's not a game, not a game. I ain't a new face, baby. No, I ain't. I'm every woman's nightmare. Beat your ass, little bitch, and I don't fight fair. Hit you with the pipe with your man standing right there. I'm the baddest chick in the UFC. Don't a bitch at 115 know what to do with me. I'm the queen, or I will be when I beat you. I know Pat gon' wanna kill me when he see you. It's not a game, not a game. You must be high off them drugs. Think you tapped that blunt 2 times too much. If a bitch relax against me, guarantee I put that bitch on her back. You gon' catch these damn hands. I eat the pussy up, now it's a lesbo scene. Give a bitch a reach around, ain't a bitch that can beat me down, ain't a bitch that can keep me down. So now I gotta put down, I'm a unit. They wanna see me bust down, now take that bitch down, down. Yeah, I now make that bitch tap, not a game. I said take that bitch down, down. Yeah, I now make that bitch tap, it's not a game, not a game. Bust down, I'm a unit, bust down, I'm a unit. They wanna see me bust down, beat her up, then take that bitch down. Beat her up, then take that bitch crown. It's not a game, not a game. Bust her, bust down, bust her, bust her, bust down. It's not a game, not a game. Bust down, I'm a unit, bust down, I'm a unit. They wanna see me bust down, beat her up, then take that bitch crown. Beat her up, then take that bitch down. It's not a game, not a game. Bust her, bust down, bust her, bust her, bust down. It's not a game, not a game. Yeah, they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. It's Tony time, bitch, I don't care who's fucking with me. Staying away from tiramisu's a struggle for Khabib. You don't wanna fight, you wanna cuddle with me. My elbows are knives and I'ma cut you with these. I don't really give a fuck who's with me. If this fat fuck will make weights a big mystery. If you were smart, then you would probably pick me. To submit Khabib at UFC 223. To submit Pettis at UFC 229. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib. Then moved up and fought with Lee. Either wait for GSP. You don't wanna mess with me. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gon' beat me and Volkov just put this guy on his back? I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Champ, you know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you wanna scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black, I know you're a beast, I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me cause he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, hope, and it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up, cause that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier, I'm coming to defend my title. title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back, let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back, let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. What is going on, full-time family? We've got a potentially quick show. I think I've only got about an hour before I have to go pick my girl up from work, but we've got some things to talk about. We were going to be on the Come Get This Work mobcast tonight, just chopping it up with the family, but Dennis Espinoza had other obligations tonight, so I said, you know what? I still want to talk some MMA. It's my last week on night shifts, so I probably won't be able to do these night panels much, you know what I'm saying, as far as on Thursdays. So with that being said, I said let's kick it off tonight on our main channel. So that's what tonight is. We're going to be hopefully joined soon by some of the full-time family members. I want to get you guys' thoughts on everything going on right now in the world of mixed martial arts. And honestly, the headlines have been dominated the last couple of days by Cris Cyborg and her terrible PR team. I mean, wow. Cris Cyborg went from being the ultimate, I mean, everybody was looking at her as she was, the victim. Dana White was the big, bad, mean guy. And now from that, she has had to apologize twice in 1 week. One for the edited video that was done by not Cris Cyborg. Nobody believed Cris Cyborg sat behind the computer and edited her own video, but by Cyborg's team. Now, is it a PR team? A lot of people are telling me that it's her boyfriend that's doing all of these things. So anytime Cyborg does something wrong, people do seem to say, no, that was her boyfriend. So that's one of her fans' go-to excuses. But I'm not sure who exactly is doing this on Cyborg's team. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not only talking about editing the video. Most recently, Cris Cyborg came out, and on her Instagram, she posted a insensitive post. She posted a picture of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and she said, "This is for my African friends." And with that being said, a lot of people have recently took offense to that because it's a very sensitive subject. And one, this isn't something that everybody doesn't know about. Everybody knows about the stereotype of fried chicken with black people. I mean, even Cam Murphy, who's part of the channel, who watches from Ireland, even she knows about that stereotype, and she doesn't even frequent America near as much. And so it's a little hard to believe that they wouldn't know that, that stereotype and how bad that would look. But either way, the post was made, and this is the second time Cyborg has had to apologize now. She's reached out and she's tried to explain the joke. She said, listen, I think she said she stayed at a motel that was next to a KFC when she was in Africa. And so she was making a joke with her African friends about getting to eat KFC. And so that's her explanation for this. And of course, it makes sense. But I'm not the one that's quick to cry racism. I don't call Mike Perry racist. I don't call Dana White racist. I don't call Joe Rogan racist. So I'm damn sure not going to call Cris Cyborg racist. But if you are one that calls Mike Perry racist, even though he has clear good friends that are black people, loves black culture, listens to black music, people still call him racist. Dana White has always proven he's about business. If you sell tickets and you are black, it doesn't matter. Israel Adesanya gets promoted. John Jones gets special treatment. It doesn't matter about their skin color. So I've never been one to say Dana White's racist because it's always about the business. Joe Rogan's a comedian. Sometimes his jokes miss. He's got a lot of black friends. He has Ian Edwards, a black comedian, open up for him a lot of times on his stand-up comedian shows. On his huge platform that is his podcast, he has a lot of black guests on there. So I don't believe Joe Rogan is racist just because one joke, one bad joke, or one insensitive statement. You cannot accuse people of being racist from one thing they did or one statement and then give Cyborg a pass. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody can explain themselves. And we can talk about that. I think I heard somebody join the panel. Let's see who's on here. We got One Way in the building. What's going on, One Way? Man, I wish I could find a better article on this Cris Cyborg situation, but there's like none. It's crazy how quick all of these MMA websites were to report Dana White was the big bad bully, but nobody's reporting on this Cris Cyborg chicken incident. I mean, the only... Apologizing.
That runs everything in her social media. Regardless, I agree with you. I mean, just because she posted a picture of a chicken and says African friends, everyone screams racism that second. Like, automatically. They don't question it. They just automatically think, oh, it's racist. Oh, it's this. Like, it's crazy. No one even had a question in their mind. Maybe there's some explanation behind it. No, it has to be something racist.
And
yeah.
So now people do seem to be, taking Cyborg's explanation. Okay, Cyborg, that's a good explanation. She said she stayed in a motel next to a KFC, and so that's her explanation. What are your thoughts on people giving Cyborg a pass compared to, let's say, if Dana White or Joe Rogan made this exact same post? If they made a picture of KFC and said, this is for my African friends, or, something about their African friends, do you think that they would be able to get off with an explanation this simple? And do you think it would be a way bigger deal?
No, dude, they'll be completely dead in the water. I mean, there's no way. The publicity will be absolutely crazy. Every MMA news will come out saying, "Oh, look at Dana White's a racist," and they will never put out his explanation after. Never.
Yeah, man. So I think this is a double standard here. That's my personal opinion. But hey, that's just the way things go, man. And I wish we had more time and more people on the panel, because I would like to have that contrarian opinion on here. Because I know there's a lot of people that are on Team Cyborg through this whole situation, regardless of all the facts. And even in this situation, and the reason that I really even brought this up on this show, because I wanted to talk about her PR team. Everyone's fine. Okay, Cyborg's a great person. She does a lot of charity work. No one believes she's racist. No one believes she's scared of Nunes. She's, getting bullied by Dana White. She's does all of these things so perfect, but her team seems to do everything wrong. And so with that being said, you got to kind of think, if you're the UFC, you're not dealing with Cyborg in negotiations. You're dealing with these same incompetent people that are editing videos and posting insensitive stuff on her Instagram. Like, that can't be fun to deal with business-wise. If you're the UFC, you got to deal with these guys that clearly don't know what they're doing. What are your thoughts on Cris Cyborg's PR team? And do you think that it's fair to blame them for everything, or do you think Cyborg should... She's got to take control, I think. She can't allow this. I mean, it already had to kill her to make that first apology. 2 apologies in 1 week? To me, that's wild. So, I mean, hey, but it is what it is.
Yeah, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. When they posted that first video, how long has the video been posted in her Twitter account? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she has seen that video a couple of times and she hasn't removed it until after the backlash.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does come to her in responsibility regarding that, and partly her PR team. But I don't know why people think it's a PR team. I think it's her boyfriend that runs her whole account. To be honest, because
Do you think he's a video
yeah,
editor also?
oh, then probably not. But he probably had the idea.
And so you
Of
see
probably
that,
editing
like so. Even it's not Cyborg, it's her boyfriend. It's his ideas. Like even though we know it wasn't him that edit, so it's a team, and so it's probably just out. People already think it's her boyfriend, like you just brought up. And so I would say, who do you think edited the video? So it's like, so it would be her boyfriend and then another person. So it's a team. And so Cyborg's a part of that team as well. Do you think they're doing all of this behind Cyborg's back?
I doubt it. I mean, let's say if someone is gonna post a video in your Twitter account full time, you're obviously gonna see the video, right? You're not gonna be inactive in your own Twitter account, not knowing about the video. You're gonna see that video, and if you don't like it, you'll remove it. Simple as that. She never done that until after the backlash, after she got exposed. So she's not innocent in this situation.
But it just seems to be that no matter what she does, it seems to be that is the narrative. Cyborg is innocent. She does nothing wrong. She does no wrong. I mean, and even, and then this to me was the straw that broke the camel's back. Even though everything has already, I mean, even before the edited video, I was skeptical because just what made sense as far as business for the UFC, the Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg rematch is a win-win. So it already doesn't make sense that they wouldn't want that fight because no matter who wins, the UFC wins. That's the best business, a win-win. So it already didn't make sense the UFC didn't want the fight, but then we seen the videos from 5 years ago dropped. Then we seen the edited footage. Then we had the apology. Now we've got this insensitive post. I mean, and still Cyborg can do no wrong.
It's crazy. It's
Hey,
absolutely crazy.
But it is what it is. Like I said, if Cyborg was, Dana White or Joe Rogan, or honestly, even Mike Perry is another person. And I want to have this conversation with, I don't even know your stance on this. I wish there was somebody that, I hope you have a contrarian stance on this. What is your thoughts on Mike Perry using the N-word?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't really have a stance on that. I think there has never been backlash for that, so I don't really care.
He's got backlash. Okay, so I see. That's why I wish I had Stamina MC or Genesis Green or Coach or anybody on here that I know has the opposite opinion right now. Let me pull up the chat and see if anyone's made it in here yet. I'm not sure, and I think we're having a little bit of connection issues possibly. What is that? What the hell? My phone just started playing out of nowhere. Let me pause that. All right, so with that being said, here's my thoughts on this subject. I just want to touch on it real fast while we're kind of on the topic of racial insensitivity. So Mike Perry, right, and I say that because Cyborg, she came out. I don't know, have you seen Cyborg's explanation for this post yet?
Yeah, for the KFC incident?
Yeah. Okay, so.
And it makes sense.
Okay, so it makes sense. Okay, so Mike Perry, when he got backlash for using the N-word, he also had an explanation. And his explanation was he took a 23andMe test and he came back like 2 or 3% black.
You're for real?
100%. He took the test, 2%, 3% black. So he's like, y'all niggas can't get mad no more. And so people are like, no, Mike Perry's racist, even though he ain't using it with the hard ER. He's not using it to demean anybody. He literally is a white guy that loves black culture, listens to hip hop, respects black fighters. He got his nickname from Mike Tyson. He's one of the only people that respected Tyron Woodley as champion. I mean, he definitely is not racist. But the fact that he used the word with the A, people said he was racist. So
isn't he Hispanic?
Mike Perry, he might be like 3%. I mean, most people think he's white but he does definitely look like he has a little bit of mixture in him. And so my point is, people accused him of racist. He took the test, and so people say that's not enough percent. Well, me being biracial, I'm 50% and 50%. So my question is, how much percent do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? I can say the word completely fine. Nobody ever says anything about it. I'm only 50%. So my just the logic to me is, what percent do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? Because Mike Perry took the test. He's got black in him. What is it? Does it stop at 10%, 15%, 20%? You know what I'm saying? So that's why, to me, like I said, Mike Perry's not somebody you look at and you're like, he's racist. Oh, he probably voted. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably a racist. He's not somebody you look at like that. And he can explain it. So to me, what I'm saying is, you can't on one hand say Mike Perry is a racist and then give Cyborg a pass. To me, that is like, you know what I'm saying? It's illogical, because it's the exact same offense and they both have an excuse. So, I mean, we can move on from that topic. I wish we had somebody from Cyborg Nation, because I would love to debate somebody on this topic, but we'll probably have to do that on another day. But there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about, such as Jorge Masvidal's title shot, and you would be a great person to talk about this with.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
Dana White, of course, being a businessman, shutting down Jorge Masvidal's ultimatum. He doesn't want to give Jorge Masvidal the immediate title shot, which we already know the UFC had plans for the title shot, Colby Covington. And also, can't get the McGregor fight, according to Dana White, because he's too big, even though Conor McGregor has fought at 170 and Jorge Masvidal has fought at 155, so they're actually pretty close in size. Dana White gave the excuse for McGregor that Masvidal's too big. So, with that being said, Dana White is looking like he's trying to do what makes sense to me. Now, before I say that, I want to know, what are your thoughts on Jorge Masvidal's... I really don't want to know your thoughts because I already know him and it's about to make me throw up in my mouth.
Yeah, you want to hear.
Oh, my...
I'll tell you right now. I mean, it makes perfect sense. He definitely doesn't deserve the title shot. I mean,
Oh, my...
he's only in a 2-fight winning streak, and let's be honest, in that Ben Askren fight, we didn't even know how his grappling level is.
Yes,
because
we
he
do,
KO'd
because
Ben
he's got a
Askren in
whole
5 seconds.
history of like 46 fights in previous for us to know his grappling history. He's also got training videos.
Okay, well, I mean, like, that Damian Maia was a giant telling of his grappling ability.
Yeah, only if you don't know the size. Damian Maia used to fight at 155, and Jorge Masvidal used to fight at Damian Maia used to fight at 185, and Jorge Masvidal used to fight at 155. So Damian Maia has got a huge size advantage, and he barely won a split decision in that fight, which a lot of people thought Masvidal won because he did more damage. And that's just another case of Jorge Masvidal losing a split decision, which honestly, of all ranked fighters in the UFC, and actually every single fighter in the UFC, Jorge Masvidal has the most split decision losses and robbery losses in his career through 2 divisions. And he's also got 47 professional fights at 34 years old with no slurring, stuttering, or brain damage to prove his skill level.
That's true. I guess what Dana White is thinking is, like, let's say if we do put Ben Askren, people are always going to question his grappling ability in welterweight. They're going to question it compared to, like I say, an Usman or a Colby Covington. I mean, there's obviously we've seen the video of him and Colby Covington doing that little playing around where Colby Covington would just ragdoll him. He's always had that question, so it's not going to be that intriguing for the ones that actually know Masvidal's history against grapplers.
Well, that was my thought against Ben Askren. And then he went in there and got the fastest knockout in UFC history.
But let's be honest, if he missed that knee, you don't think Ben Askren would have...
No, I picked Askren to win the fight. That's 100% what would happen. But that's where the momentum and the leverage comes into play, because not only did he get the fastest knockout in UFC history in a fight he was supposed to lose, he's also coming off of a knockout over Darren Till in his hometown and the viral 3-piece Minnesota moment, all in a row, which is just huge momentum, which is what plays into leverage in negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that they want Jorge Masvidal to even get more steam, and the way to do that is if he gets a win against Leon Edwards, or
No,
completely.
let me explain exactly
If
what
that's
the
possible.
UFC wants. Jorge Masvidal has a contract right now, right? Let's say he makes 15,000. He makes more than that. Let's say he makes 25,000 to show, 25,000 to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he fights for a title, they have to pay him like 200,000, right?
Yeah.
And if he's a champion, he has to get pay-per-view points. So, if Jorge Masvidal fights for the title next, or fights Conor McGregor, which he's demanding, he's actually cashing in on his momentum. But for the UFC, they can capitalize off his momentum if they can get him to fight Leon Edwards for that $25,000 that he's making already. They won't have to pay him a penny more, and there's all the momentum he has from the Darren Till, the three-piece Minnesota, the Askren knockout will all go in the UFC's pockets if he
Did you know
fights
how? You know
Edwards
how
on the
much?
same contract.
Do you know how much Masvidal was making in his last fight?
How much do you know? I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, yeah, I do. It's 100 grand to show and 100 grand to win.
Okay, so that 100,000, right? He gets 100,000 to
Yeah,
show, 100,000 to win. He's
yeah.
probably gonna bring in, man, millions of dollars when he fights Leon Edwards. Everyone's going to want to see it. Everyone knows the history. He's coming off the fastest knockout in UFC history. He just knocked out Darren Till in his backyard. He's got all the fucking momentum in the world. Everyone's going to buy tickets, watch the fight, buy ESPN Plus, wherever that fight is. If it's on a pay-per-view, everyone's going to watch it no matter what. And so the UFC can get away with only paying him $100,000 if he fights Leon Edwards now. As to where if he fights for the title first, that's when his contract starts kicking in the big money, especially if he can win it. So for the UFC, it's just like the Cyborg situation. It's nothing personal. It makes business sense for them to have him fight Masvidal first because he doesn't get anything except for what his contract is. He doesn't get any of the ticket sales. He doesn't get any of the momentum. He doesn't get to capitalize off any of it. The UFC gets every single dollar, or ESPN Plus. You know, if they had him fighting on ESPN Plus, you know how many people are buying ESPN Plus to watch that fight? And he's not getting any of that. So for the UFC, of course they want him to fight for what he's already getting paid. It doesn't matter if Jorge Masvidal fights Leon Edwards or Damian Maia or Ben Askren or Santiago Ponzinibbio. He gets paid the same amount. So to fight Leon Edwards, that fight is worth way more. And only the UFC would get to capitalize on it. And in the only time you ever get power as far as negotiations, the only time you can ever call your shots is when you have leverage. And Jorge Masvidal will never have more leverage, even if he fights Leon Edwards. If it's not an entertaining performance, if it's something that people say is boring, that's going to take away from his momentum.
Or if he loses.
If he loses, or if it's not how do you top a fat 5-second KO? Even if he has to fight smart and tactically, what if Leon Edwards tries to hold him against the fence the whole fight and he barely wins 3 rounds? And what if he loses a split decision, which he's lost more than anybody else? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? 6? I mean, he's won split decisions, lost split decisions, but as far as robberies, I mean, his last, before Stephen Thompson, 1, 2, 3, 4, his last 4 losses in a row were all split decision losses. So what if Leon Edwards tries to grapple him all fight and they fight to a split decision? You lose momentum. It was like when Usman fought Emil Mek. He was already on a win streak. He had just knocked out Sergio Moraes. But when he fought Emil Mek, everyone started making fun of him because it was boring, and he said 30%. So he lost momentum. So Jorge Masvidal has everything to lose and not much to gain. That's why right now he's got more momentum and leverage than anybody could really ever want. So the UFC is just playing hardball and doing what they think is right. But for Masvidal, he don't have to he can still get his title shot even if it's not next. He can just wait for Colby. The UFC
No,
is gonna want Masvidal
the
to fight.
the UFC is not. Listen, if Masvidal denies his fight against Leon, I doubt the UFC is gonna give him the next title shot. I doubt it. I mean, they don't even give it to Tony. That the same issue
The
happened
only
with
reason
Yoel
I think
Romero.
they will is for one, he's got a really good manager, and for two, he's got all this momentum, and the UFC is greedy, and they definitely want to capitalize off of it. Masvidal's not somebody that, you know, went to war with the UFC and tried to sue him and fucking blamed him for workplace harassment. Like, they don't have anything personal against Masvidal. They just would rather get his momentum for cheap. They would rather only have to pay him $100,000 next fight and just get all of this momentum for themselves, because they would get all of the benefits instead of paying him. I guarantee you, Masvidal would fight Leon Edwards if they just changed. If he changed his contract now, all right, give me $300,000 to fight Leon Edwards, so it's worth my money. So it's not just any regular fight. You know, because that's not any regular fight. That's any fight that's like Cody Garbrandt versus T.J. Dillashaw. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
that type of heat. That's a real rivalry. That's not just any fight. That's a real rivalry. That's a money fight. And so Masvidal should not let them put him in that fight with all this leverage. I want to see the fight 100%. I want to see the fight, but I just know they're trying to rip him off and make him do it before a title shot, and he shouldn't do that. He needs to wait on his title shot, and then he can fight him after. Because I do want to see the fight. They're just trying to fuck him over right now.
yeah. I mean, they're definitely gonna pay him more because look, I mean, Ben Askren made more money than Jorge Masvidal in his last fight. I mean, he made $210,000 just
Yeah.
for his show money.
That's a slap in the fucking face to somebody with 47 professional fights at the highest level in 2 different divisions.
It's crazy. He made 210,000 and for only 5 seconds of work. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
It would have been, and if he would have won, he would have made another 100 grand. So he would have made 310,000 total. And Masvidal would have
I
just
can't
made
believe he
100,000.
gets paid that much. That's crazy. He's
I know,
put
right?
in no fucking work in the UFC. Wow. But hey, man. And then one of the other things I wanted to talk about was Colby Covington's trash talk recently. It seems like he's turning up the heat, and then also just the fights this weekend. But Colby Covington recently, of course, in his post-fight speech, he made his comments about Matt Hughes, who was hit by a train and is also one of Robbie Lawler's good friends. And so a lot of people, of course, got emotional. I mean, there's so many beta males. We know the deal. There's a lot of people got emotional by what Colby Covington said, even though Matt Hughes took it pretty well, and some like Chael Sonnen and other insiders believe that it might be a little bit of just Colby Covington's shtick. Well, recently Colby Covington went on Miesha Tate's radio show and he addressed her and what he thought was her personal attacks against him. I think Miesha Tate, who does work with One Championship now, she was standing alongside One's president, and he said something along the lines of Colby Covington being disgusting and his personality, and that he wouldn't fit in One Championship, those antics. And, you know, just any other thing Colby Covington said that people have thought has crossed the line. Miesha Tate is now an analyst, and her job is to comment on current events in MMA. So Colby Covington was on her show, and he fired back at Miesha Tate. He defended himself, he's saying. He said, "It gets back to me. All the people say how you say negative thoughts about me and how I'm this and that. I just think it's very hypocritical because I don't think you're a perfect person. You might have some skeletons in your closet as well." He went on to talk about how Miesha Tate got famous from losing to his girl Ronda Rousey and putting pictures on the internet. He accused her of intentionally leaking her own nude photos that are out there. Yes, you're welcome. And he also said she got famous off losing to Ronda Rousey. So, you know, he took a couple personal jabs at Miesha Tate, and her co-host got into it, defended her, said, "Hey man, that's her job. Like, leave her alone." White Knight, of course, but Miesha Tate, she got offended from that. But she's a woman; she's supposed to get emotional. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, Now Colby Covington is even taking more heat after the Matt Hughes comments, now for attacking Miesha Tate verbally. What are your thoughts on Colby Covington's trash talk one way?
I mean, it definitely brings more attention to him, and that's his end goal, and he's doing it really good. Let's be honest here.
No, but to that point, real quick, what's crazy is it's like every time Colby's on a pay-per-view or a call, even a free TV card, it's like there's a headline that comes out that says he has the lowest numbers ever. Like UFC 225, he was on, and they said that sold like the lowest ever. And then this event that he was on, they said was like the lowest numbers in a long time. So for some weird reason, it doesn't seem to be working, even though everybody knows who Colby Covington is. Maybe he's not doing it good enough. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, in those last two, like the last event, one with Whitaker, correct? That was the card with RDA.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Yoel Romero versus Whitaker 2.
yeah. At that
Holm
time,
versus Anderson, I think.
CM Punk was also pushed to the main card, and then there is. I mean, what I've been hearing was that they were going to do a little boycott because of that, putting CM Punk in the main card. So I don't know if that played into factor, or it could be that people dislike him so much that they rather not watch or pay for the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might have been that boycott in that last event. Now this event, it makes sense why it was low view, because I mean it was what in the morning. It wasn't
Not
usually
the
the
usual
same time
time.
frame. Yeah, people usually work in the
That's a
morning,
good point.
so that makes more sense. Those two, so like I said, the last one was, I heard there was a boycott because of CM Punk being pushed to the main event, disrespect against MMA fans, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
I
was
can buy
definitely
that.
at work for this, so that's a good point. I wanted to watch the card, but I couldn't because I was at work.
Exactly. So that could be that. Those are the two reasons why I think those two events did the lowest numbers when he was on it.
Okay. But yeah, man, his words definitely do seem to be making him. Everyone knows who he is. You know what I'm saying? It does, like, literally every single MMA fan knows Colby Covington, and there is something to be said about that. Every single professional fighter knows Colby Covington. There's definitely something to be said about that. So it's working, even though it doesn't necessarily always seem to show after his fights. So that was something else I wanted to talk about. Just one other thing, I haven't even really looked at like the prelims this week. I've looked over the card, but after the main card, it kind of got a little loose for me. A lot of fighters I don't really know on the prelims, but we've got Valentina Shevchenko rematching Liz Carmouche, and then of course Vicente Luque versus Mike Perry. Those are the two big fights this weekend, aside from Volkan Ozdemir and Ilir Latifi. What are you excited for on this weekend's card?
Oh, man, I'm really a fan of the Mike Perry Vicente Luque fight. I'm a fan of the let me see. Oh no, it's the fight I'm really excited for is the one that's a heavyweight fight. Serial Gain against Rafael Pessoa. That's a preliminary card in the preliminary
Okay.
card. Yeah, Serial
Well,
Gain is
that's
a very big prospect.
Yeah, I seen he's a big favorite. Just I looked at the odds. I just seen like he was the biggest favorite on the card.
Yeah, he has a Johnny Walker type stand-up fighting style, so he's very exciting. But other than Vicente Luque and Mike Perry, I like the Volkan Ozdemir fight.
Yeah, versus Ilir Latifi. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
And Stamina MC has been here for a while too.
Oh, he has been? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's perfect because I would love to go. I don't know if feels up for it, if he wants to have the Mike Perry conversation. What's going on, Stamina? Yep, no problem. Got the fresh cut. I see you lined up.
Oh, dude, I haven't had a haircut for like 2 weeks. This is terrible. This is like Bushwick Bill shit over here, man. My God.
Oh, shit. You looked lined up from the last time I saw you, man. Maybe what's going on?
This might be the worst you've ever seen me. I don't normally go
Oh,
on camera.
maybe that's what it is. You look different.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a compliment, man. You know, you look good. Pause. Even pause, man. All right, but yeah, no. Earlier, I wanted to. It was just me and Infamous, and I really wanted somebody that I knew would have more of a contrarian take on it. I was talking about the whole Cyborg situation.
Come on, man. Don't do me like that.
I'm just saying, I thought of you, Genesis, Coach, people that I felt like would give me a good. Well, Genesis would probably just get angry, but
Just cut the fuck out. Yeah.
it would have still been fun though. But either way, I wanted a good debate on the topic because I feel like Mike Perry and Cyborg are honestly in the exact same boat. They both did something people think is racist, and they both have explanations.
Sorry, run that sentence past me one more time, please.
I feel like Mike Perry and Cris Cyborg are in the exact same boat as far as you cannot say Mike Perry's racist and not Cyborg because they both did something that people call them racist for or say that is racist, and they both have explanations that make sense.
Right.
And so for me, you have to keep it consistent. You can either say neither one of them's racist, which I'm under the tone of, or I feel like if you say Mike Perry's racist, it's kind of hard to justify giving Cyborg a pass.
Oh, fuck off. Sorry, I just got these fucking stupid people that just work emails. I've got a little kind of like home job that I do, and all the emails just keep popping up with the notifications. It's like, for God's sake, man, just read. Stop being so damn stupid. Okay, so with that now, I'm kind of that's a fair few steps back along the same sort of path that you're on, in that I just don't like brandishing people with this whole racist thing. I just think it's really fucking tired. Like, even if someone actually takes it upon themselves to look someone else in their face and call them a nigger, even that might not be enough, actually, for me. Because a lot of the time when people do shit like that, they do it to be reactionary rather than because they actually harbor some deep-seated hatred for people of a certain skin tone. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, you guys. One second, stamina. I was wondering, like, why is there still on? We've been going live for like 30 minutes. Why is there only one person watching? And it was on unlisted the whole time one way. So that was a conversation between us.
I was kind of confused actually, because I saw you put the Hangout link in the Discord. I was like, what? When did that happen? Because I didn't get a notification. So I went to your YouTube channel and there was nothing there.
I was wondering, like, what the fuck is going on? We've been live for 42 minutes to anybody just joining. I just switched it to public, so hopefully you can see now. But yeah, man, we pretty much had the whole show already, in fact. And we were just wrapping it up. I was having a conversation with Stamina MC on this whole racism topic, and that was actually the last topic. So I don't know how much more time I have, because at the beginning of the show, I talked about how I have to pick my girl up from work. So we'll start the show where we were just gonna have it, because that was originally gonna be the first topic anyway. This whole Cyborg situation, how she's having to make her second apology in the same week. I mean, that's a bad PR week for Cris Cyborg, and my opinion on that was I feel like she needs a new PR team. I mean, of course, Cyborg can do no wrong. It doesn't, when it comes to the edited video, people say, oh, it wasn't her that edited the video, even though it was clearly someone on her team. People blame her boyfriend, which, do you guys think her boyfriend is a video editor? And then when it comes to the chicken thing, talking about posting fried chicken and saying this is for her African friends, which a lot of people immediately thought was racist, she had to make another apology. So Cris Cyborg's PR team just seems to be doing everything wrong, and I get it. Cyborg can do no wrong. She's a great person outside of the cage. She's a great fighter inside the cage. She's not ducking Amanda Nunes. She's getting bullied. I get it. Even if she's posting videos from 5 years ago, making apologies, she's not doing anything wrong, according to some people. So with that being said, I wanted to focus on a little bit just what happened most recently today. And I was asking Stamina MC what he thought the difference was between Mike Perry and Cris Cyborg, because to me, they both did the exact same thing in a sense. Mike Perry got accused of being racist, even though he has no signs of being racist. He loves black culture. He loves black music. He respects black fighters like Tyron Woodley, even when other fighters don't respect Tyron Woodley when he was the champion. And people talk trash about his game, even though he was a dominant champion. Mike Perry's a guy that always respected him. He got his nickname from Iron Mike Tyson. He got his nickname after a black fighter. So Mike Perry is the furthest thing from racist with his actions. But the fact that he used the N-word, people said he was racist. So he did one thing to make people call him racist, but he's got many great explanations proving he's not racist. Cyborg did one thing with this chicken post, this Kentucky Fried Chicken post, and she's got an explanation for it. Even though I think Mike Perry's explanations are even better, because he also has the explanation that he actually does have a certain percentage of black in him, even if it's only 2%, 3%. I mean, we can have the conversation, what percent do you have to be to say the word? Because I'm 50% black, 50% white, and no one gives a shit when I say it. So what is it, only if you're above 10%? Is it only if you're above 25%? I mean, because Mike Perry, technically, also has black in him, so he has his excuses, his reasons, and Cris Cyborg, her explanation, I'm sure both of you guys have saw it by now on Coach's channel. She said she her motel was next to a KFC when she was in Africa, I believe, and they made jokes about how she couldn't eat the KFC because they were, I don't know, out in the forest or jungle or wherever they were. They weren't near that KFC. And so they made jokes about how she couldn't eat no KFC. So now that she's eating KFC, she's like, look, my African friends, KFC. So people take that, oh, whew, Cris Cyborg's not racist. She said she's not racist. Even though that never works for anybody else. Mike Perry said he's not racist. No one cared. Dana White, Joe Rogan, they've done things that people may call them racist for, and Dana White's just a businessman. You see when he books Israel Adesanya, Cain Velasquez, John Jones, Johnny Walker, you see all sorts, Thiago Santos, you see all sorts of colored fighters getting opportunities that proves Dana White's not racist, but people still call him racist because he does one thing they don't like. Joe Rogan, he says one thing, makes a joke. Even though he's a comedian, he makes a joke about Planet of the Apes. People call him racist, even though he has black comedians open up for him. He has black people on his podcast, gives them platforms, all sorts of things to prove he's not racist, but people call him racist. And so Cyborg gets a pass. And so my question is, what is the difference between what Mike Perry did and what Cyborg did? Because to me, none of them are racist. But to some people, the white guys are racist, even though Cyborg did the exact same thing. So I just want to know what your thoughts are on those takes. And you begin to give them to me before we actually went live. So if you could, please reiterate.
So you want me to go now, right?
Yes, sir, Stamina MC.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. Like when it comes to all of this race stuff, man, like I try not to start throwing around the label of racist as wherever possible. I just feel like it's this real, just like base level knee-jerk response to any manner of fucking bullshit that goes on right now. You know, outrage culture is in my view at an all-time high. Even for my non-political view having self, I just take a cursory look at what's going on the internet. I'm just like, you lot are fucking crazy. Like, stop this shit. Pick your battles and live a fucking life that you can actually be proud of when you look back in the rear view at. Like, this is not worth getting fucking angry over. Like, you don't get to do this again. You're wasting your own time. Like, there is definitely some stuff out there that's questionable. There's a lot of stuff going on that shouldn't be fucking happening. But stuff like this, all of the stuff that you've just said, be it about Mike, be it about Cris, be it about, well, to a lesser extent, Dana, and definitely not fucking Joe. Like, I think Dana's done some questionable stuff over his timeline. Do I think he's racist? No, I don't. I think that there's some of the biases that he's shown over time don't necessarily look that good in a vacuum. But I think as long as people are making Dana money, with the exception of perhaps Cris, he can overlook most things as long as money is being generated.
Well,
So
no, I 100% agree with you as far as the money, but I think it's even the same with Cris, and that's
I'm
why.
not even going to argue the toss with that because,
Okay.
because as much as I like Cris, as much as I still like Cris made so many missteps this last 7+ days. I'm just like, oh my fucking god! Like,
Yeah.
that's
What a
all this
crime
stuff is wild. Like, it's wild. I'm like, I'm not gonna start fucking doing my best Trollbuster impression and start flipping over tables or whatever. It's not that deep to me, but yeah, like this thing here with the chicken now. I didn't even know that an apology had ever been made because to me it didn't seem remotely that deep, like not at all. Like
I hear you. And the only reason, of course, me, the only reason I drew attention to it for one, and that's why it's in the title, is because her PR team, what a fucking job they've done. 2
massive
apologies in
fail.
1 week.
Yeah, that's wild. Someone definitely needs to go for that
Like,
because
if it's not her husband, someone needs fired. They need to be
facts,
let them take care of the lawn while you guys are gone. Don't even let them.
Even if it's him, it's just like, okay, you know what? You are relieved of duty and you're paying for your successor because you can't do this anymore. Because you're not
Yeah,
actually being objective. Like, you're not actually thinking business. You're just thinking about other shit.
yeah,
Like,
man.
someone just needs to have one job, no conflict of interest. Just you can't do this anymore.
Man,
No.
this I just looked at this. Like, you couldn't even say this is for my friends in Africa. You had to say my African friends. Like, it is so. Some people felt like she knew what she was doing. Do you think it was 100% honest mistake? Cyborg, nah. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Like in this particular example, the only way this works is if she done this herself, and it's the language barrier.
yeah,
That's the only way this works because
yeah.
you picked the one thing that could be misconstrued. If you'd have said the name of the area where you were staying, you'd have been fine. If
My
you'd have said,
Nigerian friends, my
you'd have been fine. If you'd have said
Ugandan friends.
country, you'd been fine. But because you said the name of the continent, there's just so much connotation to that. Yes, of course, not all African people are black, of course, but just because you've said the entire continent, it's just open to interpretation, and unnecessarily so. You don't have friends across the entire continent. You didn't do the entire continent. You were in one specific place while you were training. Why did you not address those people? It would have been so easy to just not have had this conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
it's a fuck up, but it's just like
coming off of making one apology, you just think you kind of got to be super careful at this time.
exactly.
It's
Dot your
terrible
I's,
timing. It's terrible timing.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to really stick on Cyborg too much. I was really just wanting to comment on her PR team, and also a little bit. I did want to talk about the whole race issue because I agree with you as far as I'm pretty sure. I know you said Dana White, but you don't think Mike Perry, Dana White, Joe Rogan, or any of them are racist. But I
No,
just
my
feel like it's got to be consistent. Either you think they're all four racist, or you think none of them are racist.
then I'm gonna say none because, like, yeah, Just none. Mike Perry's an idiot. Joe Rogan said something goofy, and Dana's
Maybe
just
racially insensitive. Maybe they said something racially insensitive. I'll give you a perfect example. Check this shit out. It happened to me at work like 3 weeks ago. There was this older white guy. We were I was working where and the crew meets up in the beginning in the break room. There's like 8 people on the crew. And so we meet up in the break room, and there's an older white guy who's just a fill-in for the day. And so one of the black guys, we both brought Subway for lunch that day, and he's like, great minds think alike. This old white guy couldn't hold it in. He clearly wasn't trying to be racist. I mean, it's like 6 black dudes in the room, him in there, and he's not gonna do that with 6. You know what I'm saying? So he says whenever the guy says great minds think alike, he doesn't miss a beat. He's like, monkey see, monkey do.
What a crime scene.
Yo, do you know those fucking dudes?
Oh, that's incredible. I knew something was coming, but not that. Oh my god.
My jaw dropped. I was like, I got a great sense of humor, but I was just like, bro, this is not the room. They, of course, reported him for being racist to the boss.
On smash.
They, of course, reported him for being racist to the boss. He got wrote up. But it wasn't, I don't think he works, with us all the time. He's not racist. He's a good guy. He's never done anything that seemed racist. He's never had an attitude with anybody. He's never been short, snappy, mean to anybody. He's always seemed like a good guy. But that joke, I almost didn't even know how to take it when he said it. But just knowing him, he's never came across as racist.
So you're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
I give for sure, because I don't think he looks at people and hates people because of their skin color. Even most people that people say are racist, it's not about their skin color usually, it's about their morals. People usually disagree on morals a lot of the time. And so if you're a white Christian that doesn't support anything abortion and doesn't support not working, you don't support, government assistance, whatever, you have a huge disconnect with a lot of black people. And that disconnect, they're going to automatically, you're never going to have a conversation. You're going to say they're racist. They feel like you're racist. And I think it's just a lot of confusion. But now, those same white people, if you take a black person that's got a job and takes care of their family and does all of these things that they look at as, they agree with them on abortion, I don't think those white people hate that person because of their skin color. I think that's somebody that they would welcome to their family gatherings. It's not about the skin color. I just think it's about people's morality a lot of the times. But especially when it's just a one-time joke, I'm not going to say you're racist.
No,
as I said, pick your battles. It's like, pick your battles.
Now, Stem MC and Full Time, do you think that Colby is also in that category or no?
I think Colby is in the category of hell. He's trying to get heat to take to the WWE with him. I think it's not working in MMA. I mean, that's another thing we talked about. One Way made a great point, because I talked about how Colby Covington talks all this trash, but it doesn't seem to be translating into pay-per-view buys, as we saw at UFC 225. Headlines came out. It was one of the lowest selling pay-per-views. And then most recently, when he fought Robbie Lawler, headlines came out. It was one of the lowest viewed free cards or whatever. And One Way made a great point. He said, well, first, you had CM Punk on the first card. So, of course, there was a narrative. Maybe people are boycotting it because of CM Punk's placement. Maybe that's why they didn't buy it. And then on the last card, it was in the broad daytime. And I was one of the people who missed the card, even though I wanted to watch it because I was at work. So he said that also could have a lot to do with this time. So, with that being said, Colby Covington's trash talk, we'll go into that after this. But as far as, is Colby racist? 100% no to me. That's not even close. One of
I'd
his
say
good
so too.
friends has been Jorge Masvidal for a long time. So clearly, it's not the Browns game. What do you think? He's trained with. He was roommates with John Jones all the way back to college. If you're a racist, you're not roommates with the black guy. He's trained with black guys, Brazilian guys, the whole time he's been at American Top Team. And also, he had a video recently that came out, and it was one of the best videos I've seen in a long time. And it was a young Hispanic man going up to Colby Covington and talking to him about, hey, man, I really want to be a fighter. What should I do? Like, hey, man, just dedicate your life to it. If you really want to be about it, just train 2 times a day. You got to give your life to the sport. And the guy kept talking to him like, okay, man, well, I really want to do it. And he's like, you'll do it then. If you really want it, you're going to do it. And the guy said, man, I really like this, Colby Covington. You should be like this a lot more often. And Colby said, it's not what sells. It was the real Colby Covington that you never get to see. And it was so, like, real, it seemed, that it was an epic moment. And so it's a shtick. It's like WWE, Brock Lesnar versus Kane versus Undertaker. One of them's a good guy, one of them's a bad guy. Colby's just being the ultimate bad guy. That's all it is to me. I mean, does he say stuff that's racially insensitive? So does Cyborg. No, go ahead. What about you? What about you, Stamina? What are your thoughts on Colby Covington as far as even racist is concerned?
I feel like even though it's been obvious to me from the jump that 90%, well, no, actually 67% of statistics are made up on the spot. A large percentage says in public is for a purpose. It isn't actually what he believes. He's just playing a role. He's furthering an objective. Yada yada yada. Within that, there've been a couple of things that you've said that to me have been fucking dog whistles. And I just hear those things. And I'm just like, yo, did you?
Is it kind of like the Matt Hughes train one? Is that one of them that?
Sorry?
Are you talking about, like, for instance, when he said get off the tracks, like Matt Hughes should have or something?
Well, no, well, yeah, in a different yeah. I just mean just to the whole race thing. I think the whole kind of like filthy animals thing was deliberate in how close to the knuckle it was, but it wasn't something that could be immediately flagged as being racially inflammatory.
Because like Cyborg, you could make an explanation. I didn't say brown people, their skin. I said Brazilians, the country, their country.
Yeah. No doubt. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is there's that little bit of ambiguity that keeps him in the safe zone. But I think that was deliberately ambiguous. So you can get
100%.
the kind of reaction. But 100%. Then like, no. And it's because it's gray. That's why he said that. Because you can't directly say it's inflammatory or it definitely isn't. It's infectious. It's something that people are going to discuss, are going to even necessarily argue over, talk about amongst themselves, and therefore generate more interest or more talk around Covington. That's the purpose, and it worked flawlessly in that regard. So
yeah, I 100% agree there.
Everything that I've just said, in light of the fact that I've just said that and I've acknowledged all of that, then maybe not. Maybe it was just to do that, and it didn't serve any purpose beyond that. Or maybe it's how we really feel. I just don't know, because only certain types of people are even brazen enough to say things like that in public. So I don't know. The jury's out. I think that I'm leaning more towards he's saying it for the sake of saying it. Jury's out.
Okay, yeah, did you ever see the video where he said it's not what sells when we posted it in the Discord? Did you ever watch that, or did you get a chance to see it?
I don't watch anything
Man,
at all.
It wasn't, like one of those cringe. He wasn't selling a promo. He wasn't doing anything. He was literally, it was like a real glimpse of Colby Covington for once. Like, he'd been full heel, never, like, he went back to Colby for a second. It's like, man, I didn't even know if he could go back to this guy. Holy shit. Humble Colby Covington, like, wow. And it was just extremely genuine. Like, he gave the dude really good advice, inspiring, and he said, man, I really like this Colby. Like, you should be like this more often. He's like, it's not what sells. Like, he just said it almost disappointingly. Like, it's not what sells, man. Like, he doesn't want to do it, but that's what he has to do almost. else. It was really
Mhm.
intriguing. Did you see that video? One way.
Yeah. I knew it was a stick from the beginning. I mean, that's for sure. Oh yeah, and Dennis joined. If you didn't know, just
Okay, what's going on, Dennis? Dennis Espinosa in the building. But yeah, so
Still muted, bruv.
I'm actually glad this didn't go live when it was supposed to, because first it was just me in one way, and it would sound bad like if we had two people agreeing on Mike Perry. You know what I'm saying? Just like that
Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
black. Like that's real productive. Like as far as not full black, like, oh, you guys are just racist. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have if you don't have you
Even
have to
that I
have
don't
a
even like though.
you
I
have to
don't.
have a contrarian opinion, or people are like, oh, you guys are just racist. If you don't have like
No,
a
but
black person on the panel, you can't talk about these things.
no, sure. No, I get that. Representation is great, but I wouldn't like it to be a thing whereby if ever there is a discussion about any kind of like race type thing that happens in in the news or whatever the fuck else, and like I just by virtue of the panel that we have here, I've got to be the black representative. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
represent blacks. I represent me. Like I
100%.
really insist that there be black people that don't have the same view that I do about stuff. I don't want to be this monolithic kind of like
Yeah, the token black guy
no
for the
with that,
debate.
man. Like,
Yeah, no, 100%. But all I was saying is it kind of felt like asking one way about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I also can give a perspective on it, but it felt like it was gonna be like, I feel like people would watch it as preaching to the choir. You know, if I'm not speaking to somebody that could actually, even if it's Dennis Espinosa I was talking about, someone that could at least give some sort of contrarians. You know, I don't want it to be like a preaching to the choir thing. So I just want it to be somebody that could give some insight that people would validate. You know, even if it's not because they're black, just because they have a contrarian perspective, and we can just have a debate about it. But yeah, I hear what you're saying though. So, with that being said, we got a little bit more time. Dennis Espinosa, has he joined? Is he able to speak now?
still muted.
Still muted?
I can see his mouth moving, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He is. There you go.
I
There
am
you
able to speak.
What's going on?
Well, first of all, to set the record straight, I'm not racist. Some of my best friends are white.
Actually, you're white, so a lot of people will say you're automatically racist.
Yeah, and that's not true either. As far as racial sensitivity, different people are different. You know, I'm Hispanic. Hispanic people got upset because of the Frito Bandito commercial. I like that little dude. I thought it was funny. A lot of people didn't, and they took the Frito Bandito off. Oh, okay, what big deal. You know, different black people are more racially sensitive to others. So I tried to gauge another person's sensitivity and just not step on their toes. You know, if they're sensitive to it, you know, and in some cases I know who they. Sometimes some things slip out because I said the monkey thing too, and then after I said it, I go, oh shit, I said the monkey thing, and they're going to take it as a racist thing, and I'm not racist.
And that's wrong, because and even like you said, you're not racist when that slips out of your mouth, but it's not right for people to accuse you of being racist when you're just speaking your mind.
And it's context too. People won't take context into place. Now there's a really funny video. One of the Hispanic comedians plays a joke on a black friend. I'll post it, see if you guys think it's racist or not. I think it's pretty funny. They send him up. They're good friends. They send him up with a gift basket to his hotel. So it was coming from the place that he was going to hold a comedy routine at. And they fill it up with Kool-Aid, watermelon, and pictures and everything else. And they have one of the black gals at the desk take it up to him. So she takes it up to him, and he takes it in, and they sneak up and they're listening outside his door, and he's going through it. He's sort of pissed off. So they knock. Then they knock on the door, and he opens the door, and he realizes what's going on. He goes, "Oh shit, you guys got me." You know, and he laughs about it. He goes, "You know, I actually love this stuff." You know, some stereotypes are based in truth, so big deal. I like burritos and tortillas and tacos.
I do too.
You can send me a gift basket of tacos. I'm not going to get upset. Nothing wrong with liking tacos. Nothing wrong with liking watermelon. Nothing wrong with liking chicken. It's about how you treat other people, man. That's all it's about. And and it's about relationship too. This Hispanic comedian had a relationship with a black comedian, and so they were cool with it. I've hung around with white friends, black friends, and Hispanic friends all at the same time. We rib each other. It's no big deal.
I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. My only thought is that Mike Perry has a lot of black friends as well. You know what I'm saying? Some that allow him to say that word, and also he loves black culture, nicknamed after a black fighter, respects the black champion more than a lot of other people. I don't think it's right to say he's racist for something that comes natural to him. And even on top of that, there's the whole little 3% black, which people scoff at. But as somebody that's only a percentage black myself, which is 50%, my question is, what percent is it okay? Because my whole point of having this conversation...
If you're 100% human being and treat people right, it doesn't matter. This is superficial. This is a shell.
Yeah.
What do you think, Stamina? Well,
And
what's the percentage? What's the borderline?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What do I think? I think it is 50. I think if you're more white,
He
than
just
you
put a
are
percent
black,
on it. I did not expect that.
what's that?
I did not expect you to actually put a percent on it. I'm glad. I was
Okay, yeah, 50, man.
Okay,
Like,
so I've got a little Native American in me. I might be like 48%.
Whatever. I'm certainly not 100% black my damn self. It's academic at the end of the day, but I just feel like for someone like Mike Perry, it's like you're white. Like there are a bunch of people that have exactly the same percentage as you. They are white. Like you have no fucking physical features of that. Like there's no, identifying with like.
There's albino black people that are white skinned.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody
so,
gonna say nothing.
Features are not limited to skin at all. Like there's bone structure, there's nose, there's hair, there's vocal tone, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a load of different markers that make people.
Okay, and is it only 50% white? Because I know Mexicans can say it, Asians can say it, nobody cares.
So Mike Perry doesn't get a pass?
Not from me. Not from me, but like
Mike Perry's my nigga. Hey, Trollbuster, he's black. He says Mike Perry's his nigga too. I mean, so I know to each their own.
That's fine. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna say. I'm not like Coach. Coach is a guy where because Tyron let him say it in his presence, he's now shitting on Tyron. I'm not that. To each their own. We're all adults. Say what the fuck you want. Like I'm a person whereby if I was in the presence of someone like Coach, just because of what I know Coach feels about the word nigger, I wouldn't say it around him. But that's just because I have respect for him. But if someone else wants to say it, crack the fuck on. Get on with it. It's fine. Like, live and let live. I won't do it. I won't even say the word nigger around my dad because I just have respect for him. But, other people, they can do what they want. I'm not.
That's funny because I only use the hard ER when I'm around my dad. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know what to tell you about.
I'm just playing.
No, it's sad is those albino Africans are treated pretty badly in Africa.
It's because they're white.
There's an article about that. And, it's funny because the white racists, and I disagree with you full time. We'll have to have a debate about it. There is racism.
And by the way, everyone, just for context, I don't believe in racism.
He already got bodied on that debate.
Who?
I already bodied his ass.
You, not me. There's no such thing as racism, and I'll debate that till the cows come home. There's no such thing. Racism is for beta males.
Hey, I want to make my other point.
Okay.
We'll have that debate later. So what's interesting is I've met skinheads and white racists. I'll have conversations with them. I'll get them pissed off. Because I go, yeah, because a lot of those white racists like Ku Klux Klan claim to be Christian. I'm a well-studied Christian, and so I'll say, yeah, I think interracial marriages are great because basically it returns the DNA a little closer to the Garden of Eden, and they don't know what the hell to say. Another thing that's interesting is they'll say, yeah, if you're like 1% black, you're black, and I go, so you're saying that black genetics is stronger than white genetics. They don't like that either, because they'll label a person that's part black, and so okay, that's fine. explain what you're saying is if you're saying they're basically what they're saying is they're tainted because they're 1% black, which is obviously a bunch of bullshit. And I say, well, what you're saying is your DNA, white DNA, is really weaker than black because you're labeling them black. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's the whole one drop thing. Like that's crazy. Like
It makes
that's
sense to me every part except for when you say that they are racist, because I don't believe that they're racist. I think there's good and evil. I don't think those people hate people 100%. If you want, let's say you're a white person and you just prefer to have white babies or a white race because you feel like your race is under attack. To me, it's no different than black people who feel like their race is under attack, and or anyone else. And so, yeah, you want to preserve your race. I don't look at that as racism. To me, what racism is hating somebody regardless of their character solely because of their skin color. Not when it comes to your family's DNA and what you prefer and who you prefer to date. That's gotten, whenever an Asian father tells his Asian daughter, you better not bring a white guy or a black guy home, to me, that's not racist if that's just your culture. If that's your culture, that's not racist, if that's what you prefer. To me, what is racist is if you hate somebody specifically because their skin color. It doesn't matter what their beliefs are. And I talked a little bit about this with Stamina. I talked about how a lot of people who people look at as racist Trump supporters, they don't hate black people. They don't hate Mexicans. It's a moral disagreement. People who are against illegal immigration, they don't hate Mexicans. That's just what it's being labeled as.
Some do actually. I think the El Paso shooter manifests that greatly.
No, it wasn't Mexicans. Legal Mexicans. If there's a legal way to come across the border, and that's what a lot of these people are saying.
There would have been illegal Canadians, white Canadians, or illegal.
Same difference. It's the same difference.
You gone into a Walmart and shot them.
If it was a bunch of illegal immigrants and it was some border town where there were, and it was being publicized on the media, and I mean just built up as some big evil thing, then I 100% agree. People feel like their country and their freedom is under attack right now. They feel like their rights are under attack. They feel like their race is under attack. White people feel like they are the ones that are getting treated racist right now.
Oh, well, see, to me that mentality. See, I'm different. That mentality of my race is under attack is that's toxic tribalism in my perspective.
Exactly. No matter who it is. But my point is, it's not blanket. Not all white people are like that.
Human being, and your definition of racism is different than mine. Any bias that is bias based on race is racism. Bias based on sex is sexism. In the definition, that bias because of anything other than character and how you treat other people is wrong.
Just being biased is racist? So if you're
being biased that way,
that feels like an oversimplification to me.
Having preference on some things is no big deal. You know, some guys like
it's a bias.
Some guys like thin girls, or some guys like white girls. That's a preference. I think there's a difference between preference and bias.
If you're a Mexican guy and you root for a Mexican fighter, just your natural bias, is that racist?
Tribalism, not racist.
Tribalism.
But you said if you're biased because of race.
I'm saying it's somewhat natural, but there's a place higher than that where I look at I'll start out without that bias myself if there's a Mexican fighter, and then when I see the difference or the guy acts like a jerk, then that's it. Now,
okay, so just starting off with that bias is not racist. Just having a bias because of race.
It's a touch of tribalism, and tribalism becomes toxic out of insecurity. Go ahead, Stone. Shut up.
All you need to do is replace the word bias with prejudice, and then it works. But bias in itself is inherently negative. It's not.
You said replace the word racist with prejudice or bias?
No, replace the bias with prejudice.
So, okay, but we're talking about replacing the word racist. So are you saying that that's the definition? So you're saying racism is prejudice because of race? Stamina, are you saying that's...
Racism is based on prejudice.
Yeah, okay. Racism is absolutely rooted in prejudice. Yes, it is.
You say it's rooted in prejudice, but... Yes. So when you say it's rooted in prejudice, are you saying if you're a white guy and you see a white guy walking across the street with tattoos, all of that, and you prejudge him, doesn't matter his race. You're prejudging somebody because of their appearance.
Right.
If you're a black guy and you have a suit on, fucking suit and tie and a briefcase, and you're walking down the street, no one's gonna look at you as some criminal thug. If you're walking with your dickies sag or your pants sagging and fucking gold chains on, doesn't matter your race. It's got nothing to do with your skin color.
No. Prejudice is what will have a black guy walking down the street with a suit on and shoes and all that other stuff. And prejudice is the thinking that will allow someone to look at that guy and not think that he's going to work, but think that he's going to court.
If you're on the bus, maybe I would think that, or someone would think that. But if you're near the, jail, if you're near businesses, or if you're like, let's say you're fucking near a hotel or a fancy hotel, no one's gonna think you're going to court. If you're around the jailhouse, if you're around the courthouse,
you'd be surprised.
And also, like, so what are you saying? Racist people think that black guys are going to court instead of, like,
full time he did not understand.
like,
even worse than that, there's some towns down here I know of. A black guy tries to walk down the street in a black suit, he's probably not getting out of there alive.
And there's a lot of, I mean, if you're a white guy and you try to walk down the ghetto, through Chicago, you might not get out alive. I mean, it's not about your race. It's about good. To me, it's about good and evil. There's white people that do evil shit. There's black people that do evil shit, and it's not because of race.
Evil. Evil's the umbrella, and there are several manifestations of evil. Racism that results in violence is one of those manifestations of evil.
And I mean, I hear where you're coming from. Like, yeah, ideally, the word racism is evil. The ideal of racism is evil. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe people do it just because of skin color. I believe it's because of, like I said, usually a moral disagreement. A lot of the white people that people say are racist because they support Trump, they love black people, they love Mexicans. It's just people that, if you're, like, a lot of them are Christians, right? So if you're a Mexican Christian or a black Christian that's got a job working hard that they don't look at as the immoral aspect of the culture, then they're fine with you. They love you as their equal. Go ahead, Stamina.
I'll say this, like, I just feel like you're still oversimplifying a little bit in that I don't even feel like there are particularly many people that purely at superficial and face value, someone will look at me and be like, because his skin is that shade, I don't like him. It's not that simple. It's more a thing of, because my skin is this shade, they believe they know something about the kind of person that I am, the kind of values that I hold, the kind of life that I lead, the way that I would talk to them were we to have a conversation, the way that I would treat their family members if I were in a room with them, and so on and so forth, based on either experiences that they've had with other people of my skin tone or from things that they've been told about experiences of other people with my skin tone. It isn't just the tone. They believe that my skin tone, and therefore my side of the gene pool or whatever, represents something that either works for them or doesn't work for them. That's what it is. It's what the race symbolizes. My color doesn't mean shit. It's just that people who have this color do X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, and Z, it doesn't work for them. So therefore they think that everyone with this tone does the same shit. That's what it is.
Okay, but that's only a percentage of people, and it's of people of all races that do that. It's not only white people that do that. It's not one specific race, and that's just, and I don't even, it's, like I said, those people, it's not because of your skin color. A lot of the times it's the way you, if you talk to a person, you Stamina MC, being intellectual, they're not going to automatically assume the same things if they talk to somebody that's talks like Mike Perry. If I think if someone talked to you and then they talk to Mike Perry, let's say on the phone, they're going to assume everything you just said about Mike Perry before they do about you. It's about your status as far as, I mean, where you grew up, your intellect status is more than race. I really don't believe, yes, there are evil people that will do shit that, like Cyborg, people automatically will say is racist. But I don't believe that those people are racist to the core. If you're black, no matter what, they believe you're the same. They judge every black person the same. I believe that they know there's good black people and bad black people. And a lot of the time, it's just a difference of morality. I mean, to me, that's what it is. You ask any white person in the chat, they're not going to look at you and say, "Hey, Stamina, I think you are ghetto, you steal, you're lazy, and I think your family." Like, no, none of them. I mean,
Yeah,
even
because
when it comes to police scenarios, when people will talk about how police are racist, they always treat black people worse than everybody else. I mean, I know 100 other black people that will tell you they don't resist arrest, they're respectful, and that's never happened to them. They don't 100%.
Let's not do this.
Okay,
This
we can. I'm ready for the conversation anytime. If you, I mean, I'm just
is
telling you, it's
Yeah, did you guys talk about MMA already?
yeah. This conversation has devolved. I'll switch the title
not do it.
afterward.
Evolve.
I'll switch the title afterward.
And more like we de-evolved.
Bro, like I said,
Conversation.
anybody that gets emotional over words, anything like that, to me, that is a fallen state. That is not being. That's
people are getting emotional over loss of life. Let's not do that police one, please.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, there's loss of life every day, B. You shouldn't get emotional about it. You know what I'm saying? You can't let that cloud your mind and make you illogical. That's beta.
Okay, mate. All right. All right.
Stamina doesn't have the stamina to argue.
I see what you did there.
I know better.
Stamina, because me and you have gone back and forth for full time. This dude won't stop.
Not when I'm right. Not when I'm right.
He won't stop.
Hold on. There's a difference between. He won't stop. There's a difference between simp emotion and being righteously emotional. There's a righteous anger.
I don't think so. That they're only in the sense that the anger comes to surface, but you can't let it cloud your judgment and make you emotional for a long period of time. It comes to the surface, but you can't let it make you hate. You can't let it make you not love. You can't let it make you emotional in your judgment.
Well, that's true. Even if it's emotion that does make you hate, emotion clouds your judgment. That's why there's a saying: never hate your enemy, you cloud your judgment.
100%. I don't think you should hate anybody, regardless of their race. I think you should love everybody.
Should be able to cut your heart out without any kind of emotion at all.
Yeah, 100%. No.
Look what Cris Cyborg has done.
Is Colby Covington sexist?
Is Colby Covington sexist? I don't believe in sexism either.
You don't believe in any ism, right?
No isms. No isms. It's a spiritual battle. It's all love and hate, man. It's good versus evil.
Again, racism is just one manifestation.
Racism is beta.
Bro, you're banned from saying that word.
Beta. That's my new favorite word. You're gonna hear.
I don't know why. Like why?
Because, man, I'm getting out of that beta mind state, the fallen mind state, the victim mind state, where you blame everybody for everything and you don't take accountability for your own actions, because that's beta.
That is a very bad mentality to have, the victim mentality, because you won't get anywhere in life if you.
It's also a very bad mentality to have an emotional mentality, because that's the mindset of a woman, and then you're beta. Am I sexist for saying that? Don't care, I'm not beta. Fuck that. No, but no, 100%. You're supposed to be logical, man. We got to return to our natural states. But that's another conversation for another day, or for the Discord if you want to be schooled anybody. Make sure you click the link in the description. We're over there on Discord having these great conversations on a daily basis.
You need to go be a for Dana White.
Full time. Who's your top 3 underdog picks for this UFC event?
Oh my God. Saturday? I don't even have a clue. For one, I haven't even really did any look at the fight.
Well done,
it's not Mike Perry. Mike Perry's my boy. Mike Perry's my nigga, but I Vasunte Luque's.
Mike Perry ain't nobody's nigga.
Mike Perry, me and Troll Buster. That's our nigga, man. Chill. And Tyron Woodley too, man.
Man, Woodley is such a fake.
Beta.
He be acting like a social justice warrior, but every time he's confronted with, to actually back up that shit, he always never does anything about it.
All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, my girl is off work, so we're gonna do our closing statements now. And when I come back, I mean, I don't know if actually, I think Coach will be live, so you guys can tune into that. I was gonna say I'd be down to keep going, but I just have to go pick her up real fast. So if there was another panel, I'd hop on it, or if we in the Discord when I come back, maybe you guys will talk about it over there. So. With that being said, I'll go to closing thoughts. I want to start off with my boy One Way. What are your closing thoughts on anything we talked about today or anything coming up in MMA? Oh, you wanted my underdog picks. Real fast. Liz Carmouche. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're about to change your name to Cool Time MMA.
Elir Latifi. I fuck with him. I like Elir. I don't know who the underdogs are. I guess I got to go to the odds. Best fight odds. I don't have their underdogs and stuff on here. Underdogs. Let's see. I like. Oh, this is PFL. I don't know any of these guys. Underdogs. We've got Nope. Elir Latifi's an underdog, so I'll take him. Bobby Moffitt. Yeah, I got no business saying my favorite underdog on this card, man. I don't even know half these people on these prelims. This card is pretty. Oh, Gilbert Burns is an underdog. That's my guy.
Yeah,
I'll take him. Dorian Ho, I fuck with Gilbert Burns. He's a good fighter, but Alexei Kunchenko's pretty good too. So, yeah, I'll just go Latifi, Burns, and like Oscar Piota. I know his name. He's an underdog, but I don't know. But yeah, all right, yeah. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, it's been a good talk. I mean, hopefully everyone enjoys this Saturday. I'm just gonna put my 3 underdog picks: Perry, Burns, and Macedo, and that's it.
Okay. All right, and Stamina MC will go to you next, and we will save the wise man for last. No. You're wise too.
I don't. Sometimes.
Beta. I'm just kidding.
I'm okay with
just
it.
like screaming that shit. I just like screaming it.
I'm sure I have my moments. I don't really know. I guess my only final thoughts are that, like most people, I don't really know a lot about what the fuck is going on with the card on this Saturday. So I'm actually hoping to teach myself something. I'm hoping to be entertained. I'm hoping to remember to fucking watch Invicta tomorrow as well, which I know you're not interested in because you're you.
I'd be interested maybe if they had legit potential like Kayla Harrison over there. But yeah, I'm not interested in a bunch of cyborg food battling it out. Invicta, man. Everybody check it out. You're a fan of WMMA, check out Invicta, man. They're on tomorrow. Dennis Espinoza, closing thoughts from you, good sir.
First thought on the first topic. Ends, I won't use the word at the risk of not offending anybody, come in all colors. One of my other little favorite things. All colors.
Niggas come in all colors?
Yeah, in the negative sense of the word, because it's used, that's just like the word F, which can be used in all kinds of ways.
Faggot?
Yeah, that one. Anyway, no, not faggot, but, fuck is a very, very flexible and personal word. But in a negative sense, it's a mentality, it's not a color.
Okay.
In a negative sense, the end thing is a mentality and not a
Mike
color.
Perry's definitely a nigga then.
As far as UFC Uruguay, I'm just looking forward to the Carmouche. I like watching Valentina. She's a cold-blooded killer. She is good to watch. She's just so good at what she does. Her craft. She respects her craft. She obviously puts in the work and continues to put in the work. So I'll enjoy watching her.
Smelling upset, I take it.
No way. No way.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you guys, and of course, I'll talk to all of you guys in Discord throughout the day. Everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. We are out.